Pistons Live is presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Cade Cunningham, what a night. 17 points, 15 assists, 8 rebounds. The Pistons stretch the win streak to 3 straight games. Cade, he's our Cure Auto player of the game. He's standing by with Natalie Kerwin.
All right, Cade Cunningham, it felt like you guys finally started to create some separation there in the third quarter. What changed?
We got some stops, got out to run. Our transition, fuels a lot of our offense. But getting stops is everything for us, so we did that.
15 assists for you tonight. Duncan Robinson was just telling me recently how much your ability to get the ball to everyone else really just changes the direction of this group. What do you feel has been the biggest growth for you as far as just your ability to make reads and see the game a little bit slower?
Yeah, I just try to take what the defense gives me and give my team the best chance to win games at the end of the night. I don't try to put my numbers first as far as scoring the ball. Teams to put a lot of pressure on me, put a lot of tension on me, so it opens up a lot for my teammates. I try to get the ball to them in their spots and allow them to, make plays for us.
Well, you got it plenty to Jalen Duren tonight. He was dominant inside. How much did you guys just want to keep feeding him when you saw?
He had a huge advantage inside. Like you said, just keep throwing it in there. It's easy. Once he shows himself, it was easy to throw it in there, and he made the rest happen. So he makes the game a lot easier for all of us, for sure.
It is 3-1-3 day here in Detroit. I got to ask, what is your favorite thing about being in Detroit?
I love the people here. I love, just the camaraderie. It's just like such a hard-working city. Everybody loves the sports teams. The sports teams love the city because it has so much life and character to it. So, there's nowhere else I would have chose to play for. I didn't know I was going to love it as much as I do. But, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And the fans love you here right back, Cade. So thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Cade Cunningham here tonight, helping lead the charge alongside Jalen Duren for the Pistons to get this win tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies. Johnny Kane, Grant Long coming up with Pistons Live postgame.
And always signing for the fans, you know what I mean? Man of the people. That's how you endear yourself to a city. And what a great day, honestly, like 3-1-3 day. Man, I know we're so proud to be here and just be a part of it all. When the team's playing great, city responds. And, there's a reason why this team has attracted the energy of everybody watching, and they carried it on again tonight.
Channeling my inner John Mason, Detroit basketball. Hey, that's what we saw. That's what we saw tonight, man. It was good basketball from start to finish. I love the attention to detail, and what I mean by that is 74 points in the paint by the Pistons. They recognized that the Memphis Grizzlies did not have an answer for Jalen Duren all night long, and they proceeded to throw him the ball in those high percentage areas.
Yeah, let's start with that. We'll start with Jalen Duren because, his paint production, again, it's like he continues to take steps forward, and in our Buick GMC Pro Vision, I figured they'd let him get to 30 and then pull him out because they still got such a, tough schedule ahead. But for him to get what he got tonight, they couldn't do anything with him. And using Buick GMC Pro Vision, you could see how it was almost like you just keep feeding the beast.
You know what? At some point, it was a lot of pick and rolls that got Duren open. But then as the game moved on, this is what we saw. He recognized that he had an inside position, and he got that time and time again. The ball over the top, easy deuce there, sometimes the hoop and the harm. But a lot of this right here, just establish yourself in the low post position. Johnny, we saw time and time again where all he had to do was receive the ball, turn, and shoot. That's how close he was to the basket. And it's no surprise that he shot a very good percentage from the field in this basketball game. He was a huge part of the reason that the Pistons were able to keep the separation between the Pistons and the Grizzlies. They continued to put the ball down inside and did not settle for three-point shots.
Yeah, didn't have to really. 12 made threes tonight. That's fine. I mean, that's a fine number you can live with. For Cade Cunningham, we just heard from him again. He does so much, but it's his all-around game. And so the way this game started, remember, yesterday we talked about before the game. In the game against Philadelphia last night, he didn't look to be a scorer as much, right? Had the 13 assists, 8 points. It was enough. It was a runaway win. Tonight, same thing. 4 assists before he got his first bucket, and then he was able to just chip away, and he got it where he did. Flirted with the triple-double with our Xfinity high-speed highlights. he nearly got the triple-double, a couple of rebounds shy of it. But again, that facilitating 36 consecutive games now that he has led the Pistons in assists.
Well, here's the thing. We saw, and we know, we've seen it all season long, Johnny, but for everybody else that might be watching for the first time, we saw in the last 2 games that it is all about winning for Cade Cunningham. The guy's a 2-time All-Star. He could very easily come out and try to go for his numbers and get his points, but that's just simply not the case with Cade. He's all about winning as he receives the award for the Player of the Month for February. This is what he's all about, winning, and he's going to do what it takes to win. If it takes him to get 8 points and have 19 assists or whatever the assist number he might get that night, that's what it takes to win. That's what he's going to do. Again, tonight, if it takes throwing the ball inside time and time again to Duren to win the basketball game, then that's what he's going to do. You got to give this guy a lot of credit for his cerebral approach to winning basketball games. He's just outstanding in that regard. If they need him to score 25 or 30, he's more than capable of doing it and more than willing to do it. But he also recognized from game to game that it may not require him to score that many points. It may be somebody else's night, and you have to have a guy that can recognize that from night to night, Johnny.
Well, you talk about his assist numbers. As a team, look at this here. 35 or more assists in 3 straight games. You got to go back to 1986, right? They set the season high mark with 37 last night. Had 36 in the game before that against Brooklyn. Another 36 tonight. When you're sharing the ball that way, again, can you continue to get 35 or more every night? It kind of depends. I mean, it depends what the game's going to give you. But what it does show you, and I thought Greg Kelser made a good point tonight, was the fact that when you're watching these individuals, not everybody's just trying to go out and get theirs on a stat sheet. It's like, let me make the extra pass if we can get a better look, and let's just continue to pile on. That's team brand.
That's team brand basketball, but also let's talk about the assist, the art of the assist. The easy part is to say you get an assist when somebody makes the basket. However, the hard part of the assist is creating an opportunity for your teammate to get a high percentage shot to get the assist. And I think that's what we see from the Pistons in large part, that it's not just pass the ball to the guy and let him shoot and hope you get the assist. Let's create a better opportunity for our teammates to score at a higher percentage, and that's what's going to help us win. We see that from everybody that plays in the game. They move the basketball, they search for the best shot on the floor in that possession, and they find it. And again, it yields winning basketball for this group. The one thing that is non-negotiable on this team, or there's 2 things I'd say from Coach J.B. Bickerstaff. You're going to have to give effort. You're going to have to play hard every time you take the floor. That's a non-negotiable. The other non-negotiable, you have to play team basketball. We cannot tolerate anybody being selfish, whether you're an all-star or you're the last guy on the roster. You have to play as a unit, and we've seen that all season long. A lot of people talked about at the very beginning of the season, can the Pistons sustain what we've seen early on? And because of those 2 non-negotiables, they've been able to get to this point and still lead in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, thing of beauty. 4.5 game lead in the Eastern Conference coming into tonight. Keep winning. Magic number shrinks. At 1 seed, looking pretty good. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We won't do that. But, all right, let's hear from J.B. Bickerstaff at the podium.
JB, what changed for you guys in that third quarter, being able to get some stops to finally create some separation?
I mean, that was it. Early on, we allowed them to get the shots that they were looking for. They're a team that tries to generate as many threes as they can, whether they're catch and shoot or off the bounce. And we were a little bit, just off the ball and not as aggressive and weren't dictating as much. And then I thought in that third quarter, we did a better job of dictating.
With Jalen Duren tonight and Cade being able to feed him the way he was, what did you like about how Jalen was just taking advantage of that, I guess, against a team with this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, that's what, you like to see about your group is how do they figure out the matchups? And then where do we have strength? And how do we play from a position of strength? So that's growth. And then the sacrifice of guys that just continue to do it over and over again, right? Like, Cade always can take more than 11 shots, but the right thing for him to do was to find our bigs and the mismatches in the paint. And he just did that over and over again, right? That's sacrifice, that's leadership, and that's understanding, what it takes to win basketball games. If you drop the mic, you don't get to ask a question.
I saved it, though. Sasser had his 5th straight start tonight. He kept killing them from that same corner. What did you want to see from him in the starting lineup when you promoted him? And then how did you like how he responded tonight?
I mean, again, this isn't new or surprise. It's just opportunity. And, Again, I give Sass a ton of credit because he's always ready when his number is called. He works, to be prepared for the moment. He's an NBA basketball player. That's clear. It's just about the opportunities for him, and he's getting them now, and he takes advantage of them like he always does. But, he's a dogged defender. He's another ball handler, playmaker. Obviously, his ability to shoot the basketball, how he can space the floor, for us. Again, he's a good player who, opportunity numbers have just, kind of bounced, not his way, but the more exposure he gets, the more opportunities he gets, and we'll continue to give him chances.
I know you're really focused on just day by day instead of big picture, but coming off those 4 losses, 3 really decisive wins over the last 3, how kind of can these be essentially like a springboard for the home stretch?
Again, and it's one of those things where you can't allow the day to change your preparation or your process, right? So, even though we may have lost those 4 games, what I give our guys credit is, they never tightened up. They never started pouting. They never started doubting what they were capable of. They just found a way to just get back together. And when we're playing, loose and free and having fun is when we're at our best. So they didn't allow those losses to impact us in a negative way. Playing better, obviously, matters. And I feel like right now we're playing better basketball. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to continue to, ramp our way up until we're playing our peak when it matters most. And these are great opportunities for it.
And what does it kind of say to, in the midst of those losses, they continue to remain as confident and together as they were?
It's just, again, it's who they are. It's their makeup, their character. They've been resilient, for the 1.5, 2 years that we've been here. So, none of it's a surprise. I think the most important thing, and I want to say this publicly, is you don't have bad days with these guys, right? Regardless of what happens, win, loss, we get mad when we lose. We get frustrated because they're competitive, but you just don't have a bad day the next day, right? They show up with a great attitude, a smile on their face, a willingness to get ready to go to work, a willingness to be coached and learn. And that's how you grow, and that's how you find consistency, and that's where our guys are at, and that's why it's such a pleasure to coach them.
Coach, over the last 3 games, Cade is averaging 14 and a half assists, close to 15. How have you seen his growth as a playmaker, his ability to go through his reads and progression grow this season alone?
He's elite at it. And we've talked about it in the past, but what he has the ability to do that some people struggle with is he can make the adjustment in the moment, right? He can see what the defense is doing and then be prepared to make the play in advance. A lot of times, it takes guys 3, 4, 5 minutes to figure it out. But he has the ability to figure it out on command. And, IQ, size, willingness, he just continues to amaze us every night.
Jimmy, with what Memphis' defense was giving you guys, it seemed like you really liked those kind of lob passes to JD in the middle, and then he could either decide to go to the basket or kick it back out. Just the processing that he has for those situations. How have you seen him get to the point where he can really kind of run the offense in a situation like that?
Yeah, that was one of the things that, even coming in last year, and I think we're trying to continue to grow with him, is the ball in his hands and him being a decision maker. He's a really good decision maker, and he's a really good passer. So when you got a guy like that who can catch the ball in the pocket, who's now playing 4-on-3 basketball, who's capable of making all those reads and going to finish, that's a nightmare for defenses. So again, we saw the opportunity, we saw what was there, and the guys kept making the play, and then he continued to make the play.